Warning, this figure has a choking hazard. Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back for another Star Wars The Black Series action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Clone Wars Darth Maul, specifically his Clone Wars Season 7 Siege of Mandalore appearance, I guess. The one that he gets in the later seasons. I'm such a nerd, can't you tell? Taking a look at that packaging right up front there, it says Darth Maul, Clone Wars right here on the side. Got some nice artwork of Darth Maul. It says Star Wars The Black Series right up there. And then nothing much here on the back, just has the image of Maul, the product, and then the little readout right here. It says, a deadly, agile Sith Lord, Darth Maul was a formidable warrior and scheming mastermind. He wielded an intimidating double-bladed lightsaber and fought with a menacing ferocity. And he also had a tendency of getting cut in half. Anyway, that's basically it for the packaging. Onto the garbage you go. If any of you want to know the context behind the Band-Aid on the review station, just go and watch my previous review on the Transformers Legacy Tarn. And now getting into the only accessory included with Darth Maul, here is Darth Maul's double-ended lightsaber. Now in the package, and also technically he doesn't do this in the show, but you can separate the two blades into two separate lightsabers to hold. And I guess you could pose Darth Maul with two separate handles in his hands, even though he never did that in the show or anything, or in any of the movies, but it is still a fun feature. Also, you can remove the blades as well, so you can have just the hilt or hilts. But overall, pretty simplistic lightsaber accessory, just, you know, just a little bit fancier since you get an extra, since it's double-ended. And I've got to give a big shout out to Darth Maul's face sculpt. One of the things I really like about this face sculpt is he has this expression where on some angles it looks like he's slightly frustrated, and then there's some angles that he has it on where it looks like he's smirking. Like, it's cool how this face sculpt manages to like morph just because of the very subtle way that it's sculpted. It reminds me of like the whole Mona Lisa thing. Like, is she smiling? Is she not smiling? Is she just staring into your soul? I don't know. I don't really look at art often. Darth Maul here also has some very nicely painted tattoos on there on his face, and also I like how they painted up his horns here. And also be careful, his horns here can and will hurt you. Is it just me, or does his ears look a little too big for my tastes? Overall, I also like how the red continues down here onto his rippling muscles. And he's got some nice wrinkles and everything here on the black and brown. I like his belt here with the little subtle bits of extra color in there. And again, those details do continue onto the back as well. And overall, I like his gloves. Again, the bits of silver really give a lot of nice highlights to the figure. He's got these little pockets right there. And then I love the mechanical legs right down here. I love the detail and everything on the legs here, but I do have an issue with these legs, which we'll get to in a second, and then he does have some peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And overall, pretty nice looking Darth Maul. Again, this is my favorite design for the character out of all of the designs in Clone Wars, though I would have liked some extra alternate hands, like maybe some force wielding hands, or I don't know, because grabby hands can be used as choke force hands, but like I would have just liked some extra, more variety of hands, and that's just for Black Series in general. I feel like Black Series don't get enough of that kind of stuff like Marvel Legends do. Going over Darth Maul's posability, he has a ball joint at the top of the neck and one at the base of the neck, which allows for all kinds of movement around here. Allows for looking up that far, down that far, head pivoting, swiveling from side to side, and just all around, all kinds of stuff with this head. Very nice. Shoulders rotate a full 360. Now, it is kind of hard to see, but there is a butterfly joint inside of there, so he does have some extra movement in his shoulders, and like I showed you, they can move in and out. He does have a elbow swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. Would have liked double jointed elbows. Again, Marvel Legends thing that's not on Black Series. Wrists swivel, and this one hinges up and down. And then he does have a very nice diaphragm joint, lots for arching back, crunch, and some diaphragm pivot along with waist swiveling. Hips can rotate forwards. They can't really rotate back. They can move outward pretty far. He does get a proper thigh swivel, but he does also have a knee swivel. Now, this is my complaint on the figure that I mentioned before. He only has 90 degrees of bend at the knee. That is really underwhelming because Darth Maul here, I feel like, is a very agile, very flexible character. Like, he's doing jumps and flips and all kinds of stuff throughout the films and shows. And I feel like a 90 degrees of bend at the knee and the hips not moving out all the way, like, I feel like this is just doing him a disservice and not making him as posable as he should be. His ankles can also move up, they can move down, and then he also gets ankle pivot. So at least he doesn't fall too short in the ankles or in the upper body. It's mostly just this lower half of the legs that I'm just not too impressed with. And now getting into the comparisons here. Here is Darth Maul with another Clone Wars related Black Series figure, Cad Bane. I did be sure to check out that review if you missed out on it. I double reviewed with him and Dengar together. And here's Darth Maul compared next to someone who has really just pissed him off. Emperor Palpatine / Darth Sidious. Specifically, mine's the version that came with the one that came with his throne.
I was hoping for Kenobi.
Oh, okay, and here he is compared with my Obi-Wan Kenobi. So anyway, that is it for the comparisons. And that is basically it for my review on the Black Series Darth Maul. Funny how my opinion on this guy is pretty split. Okay, I promise that's the last one. I'm not going to be splitting hairs over... Okay, whatever. Overall, I think the figure is pretty good. My only problem is... All jokes aside, I really am more so liking the only half of this figure, specifically the top half of him, because I love the posability and detail, but the problem is the legs do look nice, but those knees are not double jointed. Why are they not double jointed knees? I am really disappointed with how, and even then, I've had some figures that only have single jointed knees, and yet the knees bend in way past 90 degrees, and that would have really been something that I would have liked to have seen on this figure. But it just feels a little too cheap. Don't get me wrong, the figure looks great, I just wish he was more posable. But overall, I do still like the figure, because at least the looks really sell me on the figure. Again, those bits and highlights of that silver and just the clean paint apps makes it feel like it is a higher end figure. It's just the posability sadly doesn't reflect that same kind of quality feeling. And yeah, that is basically it for the action figures review. I don't really got much else to say, so if I had to give this figure a rating, I give him a solid 7 out of 10. So yeah, that is basically it for my review on the Star Wars The Black Series Darth Mauls. And if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give me a like on the video, comment down below what you guys think, subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars The Black Series reviews, and also I gotta give a big thanks to anyone who is watching this right now at the very end of the video, because my Black Series reviews don't really seem to do very well with, at least most of the time, with some people. So if you're watching it all the way to the end, thank you for watching it. And yeah, that is all I have to say. So I'll catch you guys next time. May the Force be with you, always.